Teach Me Grappling, what's up guys? Here I am, I'm back. I'm going to do this this takedown footage of Conor McGregor wrestling, working on his wrestling. A lot of people in the comments section wanted me to do this. Notice his training partner snaps him, gets in on a shot, and then Conor counters. Let's check this out. First off, what do I really think? Conor's allowing his partner or his opponent to grab inside. You notice he's got those forearm hooks on the outside. That's generally a very defensive thing. He's backing up quite a bit. He is using his head well, but he gets snapped nice and hard. But his opponent, as he attacks the leg, doesn't penetrate properly, and then you get to see Conor use his famous counter of grabbing the butt drag and pushing on the head, and it successfully gets him out of there. But how good is his training partner? His partner looks pretty good, but he made an error there with the way his butt was so high. Nice little inside trip attempt by Conor, but here, check this out. Let me see if I can break this down. Guys, look at his partner is getting the underhook, and the biggest mistake that I can find or tell you guys about is watch when Conor goes for the inside trip. Oichigari right here. You don't want to do this like in judo. You don't want to hop. That hopping Oichigari, not a good idea for no gi. You always want to drop your level and get your knee to the mat. Most of the time that will give you much better results. There's a shot by Conor. He's able to take his opponent down. First takedown of the roll. So let's check this out. His opponent, look at how bold. Look at his right leg just sitting there for Conor. Way too bold. Obviously, he's probably that way because Conor is not really offensive. He's more defensive. So he probably just felt like it's probably okay. Maybe he's throwing him a bone. But anyway, gives up a takedown there. So Conor ends up on top. He just wants to get back up on his feet. Let's check out the next sequence. Interlocking fingers. Underhook by Conor. Look at that. Checking the foot sweep to a duck. Into a high crotch single. And Conor counters with a front headlock and backward rolls up into a sprawl position. Pushing on the head. Pulling up on the butt drag. Locking in the crotch now. There's a lot that just happened. And grabbing the ankle now. Looking to try to go behind. Crossface. Very basic wrestling. Not bad. And gets behind his opponent for a takedown. Now let's try to break this down. There's a lot going on. Check out his opponent. So as Conor gets the under, he's going to check the foot sweep. Nice combination with a duck. Very slick. Single leg, but then Conor grabs onto that front headlock guillotine. Rolls his opponent over. Right here, that was a great counter by Conor. I mean, this shows some high level of wrestling. We're not talking Olympic. We're not talking world level, but it's pretty damn good wrestling right there. This was a mistake. Conor didn't need to lock in the crotch. He had a nice angle on his opponent. Should have stayed pushing on the head, lifting on the butt, driving his opponent's head towards the mat. But this lets his opponent actually get back into the exchange. Nice little ankle control. He goes back into basic wrestling right here with a crossface. And he's able to, break the position again. We don't know how tired his opponent is. We don't know how nice he's trying to be to Conor, but a lot of people want me to say nice little finishing of the takedown, going for hooks. A lot of people want me to kind of crap on Conor's wrestling. If you grade him against the best wrestlers in the world, sure, he's not very good, but it's not bad either. So there, you see that snap down and then right into a cradle, and he kind of takes Conor down. Now Conor is going to come out of this cradle and pop into like that situation like an omoplata and pushes him off. Let's look at this. Again, Conor snapped down way too easy. Check this out. Snaps him down, takes him off balance. Conor in this quad pod. Really bad position, not guarding his leg. Again, maybe he doesn't have much of a care in the world, but it doesn't show good wrestling ability. Here's an example though. Look at the wrestler holding onto a cradle. This is not smart. Holding onto the cradle and losing the position. Again, wrestlers that don't train enough in jiu-jitsu, when the pin isn't there, you don't need to hold those cradles. It's more of a waste of your grip strength. Another foot, you see that? Foot sweep attempt to a snap down. Conor looks to go behind him. and it's all over. That rolls over. So the next opponent, again, I mentioned it last video. A lot of people didn't like me repeating myself. We got a small partner. Very easy to control. Also, not very good at wrestling. Definitely I wouldn't call him a beginner, but not a very, very good wrestler. So he's definitely only been wrestling maybe a couple years at best. It's caught in a front headlock right here. We're seeing Conor, stuff his head, using the thigh pry right there, kind of fending him off, pushing on his head right here, and then stuffing his face. And check this out. The opponent, as he runs behind him, he ends up kind of pancaking him right to his butt. I'm going to stop it right there. Let's check this out. Again, notice the pull of his training partner. Pulls. He wants to get his head free. He sees the single, but he needs to wait until he gets his head free. Conor has, again, zero fear, and I wouldn't either if my opponent was this much smaller than me and was at that level. So, again, we also have to realize that if there's not a whole big threat, you're not always going to wrestle like where you're not going to let them in. So it's kind of hard to judge their stance just off of that. Opponent tries a 2-on-1. Conor goes for a front headlock, maybe a guillotine. Look at, he's cranking the neck a little bit. Combining it with a snap down, grabbing onto the back of the thigh for a brief moment. Stuffing the head in the middle. That's good stuff. Trying to stop the opponent and from finishing any kind of leg attack. Pulsing on his head, kind of just staying over him. This is not good positioning by Conor. Giving up way too much space. Again, he wouldn't be able to get away with that with somebody his level, his size, or better than that. So ends up trying to go behind, and his partner gets caught sitting on his heel a little too much with weight and gets pancaked over. At least does a good job of getting back to a single like a wrestler should. But I want to show you guys, check this out right here. Look at what Conor does. What is he doing? Is he cross-facing? No, he's not cross-facing. He's applying a muffler, which is just a hand over the mouth, which is fairly genius, I must say. Uses it to get right into a rear naked choke, takes the back, and he can easily finish the choke on it, this little dude. So check this out, guys. Serious. This is you guys need to check this out. This is genius. No crossface. Muffler from a sprawl position. What will his partner do when he can't breathe? He's going to get frustrated. Here it is. Check it out. The hand goes over the mouth. Very smart. That is something you cannot do in the sport of wrestling. See that? You cannot do. It's going to frustrate an opponent. It's illegal. He used it to get slick right into the rear naked choke, just like you would learn from the back control, except he's doing it from the sprawl, which you got to give him credit, and probably Kavanaugh, you got to give them credit. Whoever taught him that, whether he did it himself or somebody taught him, solid technique, very unique, very different. You're not going to find that from a regular wrestling coach. His opponent gets in again. Another guillotine, another example of how just strict wrestling does not always work. And a big reason why is because you've got what would be considered an illegal headlock, a choke, taking away the opponent's shot. Look at Conor takes a shot, not a great shot. Look at his opponent right here. Pulls him around with a front headlock, snaps the head. Goofy foot a double right there. Right leg lead with the head going to the right, which turns into like a lefty shot. Switches off to a single, but now his neck is getting wrapped and he's getting choked. As he tries to drive, he eventually can't handle it anymore because he's got to breathe. And Conor's able to get the butt drag. Little oil check, brief oil check. Not saying he grabbed the giblets. But look at that stance going behind people. You don't want to see that. He's up on with his butt up in the air, not real heavy. So if I had to criticize, Conor does that a lot, way too much, not heavy enough. Look at the over-under position. Opponent tries to step in front. Conor snaps him down. Inside trip. Very nicely done. But again, opponent's small, so maybe not super impressive. But it is impressive for a guy who's considered a striker to, and now check this out. Look at this. Step on the head. Again, people can talk about how whatever his etiquette, but still, there's some intelligence in his grappling. I just want to point that out. He may not be a world level wrestler, but look at that inside trip. Got to his knee nice and quick. Used the underhook well. And then after this takedown, again, not being super heavy on his partner. Notice what happens right here. He's looking to kind of stay behind, but his opponent, like a wrestler, turns in. Again, looking him up on his feet. This is just bad habits. You don't want to do that. I don't care if your opponent's smaller. Don't want to do that. Look at this. Posting on the head. Step on the head to slide his leg through. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Love you guys. See you guys next time with more great stuff.